Howdy, Hasmass Reviews is here, and today we are reviewing, well, we did a Hanna-Barbera, remember when I reviewed last year, Yogi Bear? I did a couple of Hanna-Barbera reviews last year, Jetsons the movie, and the Holy Rockabye Baby, Flintstones Holy Rockabye Baby that is, and we're doing another one, and that is Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of Spruce Goose. This is another one of my favourite made-for-TV movies by Hanna-Barbera, and well, we're going to review it. But first things first, let's get some music on it, shall we? If I don't get it, here we go. Alright, let's do it.
Have fun the holiday jolly day tour bus!
Go where the wild eagles grow.
So, what's the premise of the story? Well, Yogi Bear and Yogi decides to take his friends Boo Boo, Huggy Doggy, Doggy Day, Snugglepuss, Quick Draw Madraw, and Huckleberry Hound on a vacation, and they're going to go see the largest airplane ever built, the Spruce Goose. Unfortunately, due to some shenanigans, Yogi gets them locked up in the Spruce Goose overnight, and they end up accidentally activating it, causing the large airplane in the world, which only has been used once, to be used again. And it's magical, basically. Yogi takes... So, while unsure what's going on, they decide to use the Spruce Goose to rescue endangered animals who are in trouble in Antarctica, the Zelman Sea, and a few other places. While rescuing those animals, they mysteriously come across aliens they do not know about, as well as two old foes of theirs. But they're not who you think they are. Let's get to that when we get to that. But so what does work in this? Well, I will say, when you think of Hanna-Barbera, there are three things that worked in it. You've got, which are the writing, the likable characters, and the top-notch voice acting. That's what made Hanna-Barbera shows work so well. And you know, in the TV movies in the late 80s certainly kept it up, and early 90s I guess as well. The writing in this is absolutely perfect. And the humor is well done. The characterization of these characters, it's hard not to like them, and I'm surprised that even in the 80s, when audiences were starting to wane a bit on these shows from reruns on syndication, how they still kept these characters from not going stale. It's quite impressive when you think about it. And of course, you got the voice acting. This was in the 1980s, and yeah, a lot of these actors were getting to the end of their lives, but they still kept on voicing these characters which they loved. And you can see every time you hear the likes of Dawes Butler, Don Messick, Paul Winchell, and all those guys, you can tell they're just having fun voicing these characters. It's strange because I think Hanna-Barbera had they mostly focused on radio. Actors who start off on radio, but every one of them worked so well, and I think they had the better voice acting of any anime productions, even than Disney back in the day. I mean, yeah, Disney had some great work, but the fact that Hanna-Barbera had this top notch of a crew, you gotta love them. I mean, look at who else they had. I mean, you look at who else they got to work with. I mean, Mel Blanc, Janet Waldo, a few. And yeah, they had some celebrities here and there, especially with some of their major stuff and some episodes of the Flintstones. But this is, you just can't beat what they did. What they had to work with, they had the best in the business. And a lot of these voice actors are still considered legends in the business. And I mean, the character designs, nothing's changed. Yogi still looks like Yogi. All that. They're all they're all there and they all look the same as always. Well, but what doesn't work? Well, I guess you can quote unquote the animation itself. I mean, you know, Hanna-Barbera, it's not got the best quality. It wasn't until they started working with Cartoon Network with the likes of Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, and the Powerpuff Girls, they really start to get much better animation. And even their made-for-TV movies in the 80s, I mean, not much. I mean, they only really stepped up the game when they released feature films in theaters, but you know, there you go. But here comes the biggest problem. It's not so much a problem, but it's more a confusion. Now, as I said, Yogi and his friends come across two old foes from their past. Now, if you're old fans, you would think it would be Dick Dastardly and Muttley, who they were mostly they're from Wacky Races, but fans of Hanna-Barbera will know, they also had their own show, but they would often cross paths with Yogi in other shows as well as other made-for-TV movies. Essentially, you know what we got from Scoob last year? That's basically trying to change the formula from what used to go with Yogi Bear. Just replace Yogi with Scooby facing off against Dastardly. And you would think that way too, because Paul Winchell's in this, and he's the voice of Dick Dastardly. Well, that's not actually who we get. We actually get two different characters, the Dread Baron and Mumbly. Now, you're probably wondering, who are they? Well, they're foes of Yogi's from the show Laugh Olympics, who are also foes of Scooby-Doo, who was also on the show. And in fact, Mumbly ended up getting his own spin-off series. Now, there's a reason why these two characters exist in Laugh Olympics. You see, despite them creating the characters, Hanna-Barbera never truly owned Dick Dastardly and Muttley till years later. So it wasn't. So as I said, it wasn't until about it wasn't until about the 80s that they actually got the rights. So which is why they created the Dread Baron and Mumbly for Laugh Olympics, which came out in the 70s. Now, at this point, they owned Dastardly and Muttley. So why didn't they include them instead? So why didn't they include them and instead include the Dread Baron and Mumbly? It's really strange. And here's the thing: the Dread Baron has his own voice actor. Yeah, his own separate voice actor, but he's not in it. They brought Paul Winchell in. And I love Paul Winchell. He's one of my favorite. He's probably one of my favorite voice actors of all time. But it's just going to make things way more confusing. Now, Hanna-Barbera fans will know. Now, I'm sure this is right. I just have to double check that it's been confirmed that the Dread Baron is actually Dick Dastardly's cousin. So maybe this is when they just revealed that information. So when they included him here, it makes sense to bring Winchell in to voice him. But I'm being really too complicated. It's just strange, okay? As I said, at this point they now own Dastardly and Muttley. So why didn't they include them? I mean, at the time this was released, Yogi's Treasure Hunt was going on TV. Was I think in its third season or second season, and Dastardly and Muttley were in that. So why aren't they in this? I do not know. And look, for those who are fans of the Dread Baron and Mumbly, all the power to you, but can you at least agree it's just confusing? I mean, not just the fact that they included them instead of Dastardly and Muttley in this, but also the fact that Winchell was voiced the Baroness when he didn't usually do the voice. And if you're wondering who Mumbly's voice actor is, it was just Don Mussick, who also voiced Muttley. So that wasn't so bad. It's more the fact that they replaced the Baron's original actor with Paul Winchell, which again, I'm I'm not upset, because I love Paul Winchell. It's just confused me. Jeez, I think I've spent most of this video ranting on the whole character switch thing. But, you know, in total, I think this is a really good movie. And honestly, I will say this, as much as I love Holly Rockaway Baby, I think this is the better film because it's more fun, you know. There's not too many corny bits in it. Actually, there's no corny bits at all. But the closest thing I can say that you can probably skip is when the Baron and Mumbly arrive on the island of Moola Moola after they trick Yogi. I really should have just referred to him as Dazzly and Muttley. Anyway, but you know, in the end, this is still a really good film, and you know, for Hanna-Barbera fans, give us a watch. Fans of these characters, give it a watch, and you know, I'd say this is worth a shot. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10 Hasdus. Just 0.5 difference between Holly Rockaway Baby. Although I will say both these, I'd much rather watch this and both Holly Rock over Jetsons the movie any day. So what's next? Well, my next review is actually going to be a Disney straight-to-video sequel. Well, that's my next review. There might be something else I've got planned along the way, which is video game related, but we'll just wait and see if I end up doing it. But in the meantime, Housemouse Reviews is out, and I'll catch you later for my next review, for my next video. Ciao.